I take a yoga class at my parents' house on Wednesday evenings. It's just like a really cool little community of my friends and family who can just come along and we can move together. I even got my mum and brother doing it, which is a huge achievement, such a huge achievement, which I'm pretty stoked about. I usually plan my flows a few days in advance, but I've just been super busy over the last few days. I had a modeling shoot on Monday, which was awesome, but I didn't get home until about 9:30 and then taught yoga at 6:30 and then the next morning. I think it's just one of my favorite parts about teaching yoga is coming up with the flows. I follow this amazing woman called Nicole Wild. I have been doing her yoga flows for like at least 2 years. She's one of the most inspirational people I find out there, just because every single time I do a yoga flow, it's different. Even though I love to strip it down to basics every so often, it's always nice to try and change it up for every class, which has inspired me a lot with my own teaching and what I would like to bring to classes. My creating process for flows is that I just tend to move and try different things out. Often the practices that I do at home by myself in the mornings tend to inspire what I create as well. That's quite fun to draw and then mix it up a little bit. It makes it quite creative. The last like 4 or 5 days I've been feeling so tired for some reason. I've been sleeping in a lot more. I've been falling asleep at like 8:30 or 9, and generally in those last hour or 2 hours before I fall asleep, I'm just really grouchy and grumpy and don't listen. I'm not too sure why I'm feeling like this. I'm usually quite balanced with my energy and I don't tend to feel exhausted by the end of the day. I have a feeling that it might be PMS, but I personally have never really experienced or linked some of my behaviour to PMS. It could be that I'm just still recovering from my flu. It just could be anything really. I'm not trying to judge myself too much for feeling like this and potentially acting in a way that I don't feel super proud of. Some fun things though. I bought a few things over the last kind of week or so. I don't usually buy things ever, but there was a market on in Tarangi this weekend, and it was also Matt's birthday, which I kind of did a shared present. So I'll start with that. I bought Matt a yoga bolster. I also bought myself a yoga bolster, but it's this big buckwheat hulls filled bolster that you use for like yin. He also loves to work on the ground, but he needs to have his hips elevated, and this is a perfect height for him. I've been putting off buying one of these because I don't necessarily like the idea of buying first hand, and so I was waiting until something came up on Facebook Marketplace or Trade Me. Someone posted in the Yoga Teachers New Zealand Facebook group that they were selling some that had been used a little bit but were still quite new, so I'm super stoked about that purchase. And then at the markets over the weekend, Matt and I bought these little ceramic pieces, which are so beautiful, and most of them were $5, and all the proceeds were going to a Ukraine charity, so it's pretty hard to say no. So we've got this small little bowl. Matt's been looking for these kind of lovely unique bowls for food photography in a few years time, and this he thought would be really beautiful. And then we also got this beautiful orange. I just love yellow and warm colours. I was thinking of using this for jewellery because I don't have too much, but I think this will be a little bit too small. And then we got this mug. Yay, love the green and love a big handle. You can, solidly fit 2 fingers in there and have another finger slotted in. It does seem like it hasn't been finished because on the bottom it has the clay that hasn't been glazed, and that does feel more rough and heavy. Would have preferred that to be all done. And then the last thing that we got was this little cute little vase. Vase, oh my gosh, I don't know whether the pronunciation is American or English. We thought that this would be really nice in our bathroom because it's looking a little bit sad at the moment. Just putting some dried flowers or something in there would be really, really nice. And then the last thing that I got was this beautiful plant. I have killed my peace lily, and so I'm trying to remorph and try again. This is a golden pothos. I'm probably saying that wrong. It's already starting to grow a few new leaves, so I'm really excited to not kill this one. Whenever I feel low on energy, I like to do things that allow me to get into a flow state. I've been making my own bread and relish at home for a while now. I just love making things from scratch and seeing how the ingredients work together. I started these weekly or fortnightly rituals as a way to reduce waste, but there's also the added benefit of feeling more connected to what I eat and also just feeling more creative. It's super fun. These processes take time, but the result is so satisfying.